Yeah, good day, viewers and Nigerian citizens. In my previous video, which I did on the 6th of June, I spoke about our educational careers, specifically the educational career of our children, vis-a-vis the career we undertook as parents, and its implication in the development of our children. And I promised to come up with a follow-up on that video. And today, being on the 14th of June, I'm here once again to put out the follow-up to that video. Today I'm going to be talking about your income, your purpose, your family background, and your ambition, or the future you envisage for your children. Now, coming up first with your background. Every parent wants to give their child the best of life. Every parent wants their child to be more better than them. And in some circumstances, you may not help situation. But then sometimes we create some negative situation for ourselves and put ourselves in pressure that we begin to look at some other vices to blame for the mistakes that we have done. And I talked about those who are doing a particular type of job, or whom are teachers, those whom are lecturers, those whom are civil servants, and some sort of career job that do not have a high income at the beginning. For instance, a lecturer who is paid 80,000 naira. In the past, yes, you may struggle to become a professor. And today, a lot of professors have argued it to the government that the income of a well-read man or person who is titled a professor is supposed to be commensurate with the content of the knowledge therein. A local government councillor will be, while going home with about 2 to 350,000 naira monthly, a PhD holder is struggling for 200 and something thousand. And what is the remuneration for a prof? If I'm given the opportunity to lead in any arms of government, having known how difficult it is to crack documents, writing publications, and making series of presentations to become a prof, I think I would recommend minimum of 2 million naira for a professor in this country. Now, that is not the debate for the day. Your income and the nature of the job you are doing should determine or make decision for the kind of children you want to bring up. Yes, at some point in life, things can just creep in. Nature may smile on some individuals. But the issue is that, are we going to be living our lives or our plan on nature smiling on us or throwing his benevolency at us. No, you must learn how to plan with what you have. If you are coming for a background that your parents are just mere teachers or your parents are ministry workers, you may have known what you have passed through as a child. And after leaving the tertiary institution, you also got a ministry job. Remember, you may have spent a lot of years in most of the government establishment before you earn some certain good amount of money to have a comfortable life. Now, if you have an income of, as at today, if you have an income of 150,000 naira and you have 3 kids, because you want to give those kids better education, you can't get any good private school for less than 100,000 naira a month as a term for a school fee. And if you have 3 kids and your income is 150,000 naira, remember that when you pay that 300,000 naira, it's going to be impacting on some other financial engagement that you'll be having for another 3 to 4 months. I do not want to put into consideration some other external factors which are not constant. I'm basing my discussion on your income monthly. And you will not and may not be able to give your children the best of education because your income is not enough to take them to the best of school that you wish. And by so doing, you are already facing some limitations that will impact on the future of those children. Do you know that in changing some of the government unity school, for you to gain admission after writing the exams, you will spend up to 350 before you get into those schools? And how many persons will have such confidence or have any confidence to take their children to some public schools where you have half-baked teachers? As a part-time lecturer in one of the colleges in Delta State, in the past I went to do a supervision in one of the school neighboring town in Warri Metropolis, and I was amazed at what I saw. I wept and I wept. While I was leaving that environment, I cried in my car. And I said, what future? If not for destiny that may change the background of some children in some of these public schools, I bet you. Let me just withhold the statement I have in my heart on that. Now, in the past, yes, Chimamanda's father was a professor, and I said it in my previous video. A lot of lecturers, a lot of teachers in the past had that confidence in taking their children to public schools because Nigeria as a country was still moving smoothly, and we have people who have the interest of the country at hand. Your income and your career should determine the numbers of kids that you should have. Peradventure, if you have a better job, if you want to do 5 or 10, it's left for you to embark on. And what purpose do you want to, or what purpose do you have for yourself and your offspring? If I want my child to be a pilot or a medical student, I should know the kind of background of education that I should give to that child. I should know the sacrifices that I would put up for that child to act, for the dream of that child to come to reality. And if I also want to plan for my retirement, I should also know these are the purposes I'm talking about. I've left the income. So when you draw up your purpose as a parent and what you envisage for your children, of course, some will grow up and tell you, I do not want to become a medical doctor. But what if your plan for the child materialize? Will you be able to embark on the project with the kind of income you are having? Of course, when you have a child as a lecturer, let's just take a case study of a lecturer. And before that child gets to 17 years or 18 years, you may have been a PhD holder or a professor. You may be able to cater for it. And remember, cooperative will be draining you because it may not be just one child. But then if you have at most 3 kids, you may be able to run the 75 years project as enumerated in my previous video. I said yes, a child has a project of 25 years for his degree program. And if you have 3 children, you have 75 concurrent years running. If you are a ministry worker, you are working with the local government, and you have 4 to 5 kids, I imagine the pressure you'll be having. I have a lot of friends who are working in the ministries. I have a lot of friends who are working in some commission, and I know what I'm talking about. And that is why I'm bringing this notification to friends and Nigerian citizens who will be listening to my video. Yes, the pleasure that goes with marital engagement should not overwhelm our purpose and decision to give our children the best of life. And remember also that these children whom we are not given the best of education to are also the end product of the society. That is what a lot of us are suffering in the country today. Those who find themselves into corridors of power without purpose, just for self-aggrandizement. And that is what we are all suffering today. So, if every one of us begin to demonstrate good purpose for our children and ourselves, collectively, the demonstration of the purpose will spread into the perimeters of our communities, our towns, our cities, and our nation at large. But if we do not throw purpose into the lives of our children, and we push such children into the society, whichever way they survive, and they find themselves in a purposeful environment, they may not be able to demonstrate purpose that is required of them. And child culture starts with the parents. If you have a family background that is not commensurate with your desires. You should be able to have a good purpose for your children to be able to break even in their educational career, to be able to face the situation and purpose of the country. And as such, we must look critically into our income, the purpose for our children, and the ambition that our children may have. Now, we have a lot of tertiary institutions all around the country today. You see a lot of people turning out of this tertiary institution. You begin to imagine people that are holding certificate of Nigerian tertiary institution cannot identify a sentence. And that is why we have low classification of school all over the world. Because the purpose thing starts from ourselves. So I want to encourage us. Yes, for those who are about to embark and for those who have embarked on this marital engagement, to know that the failures of our parents should not repeat itself in our generation. And again, while I was schooling, I drew up the purpose for myself. And I said, yes, you can have a wife that is a career person, a banker, working in an oil and gas industry, a medical doctor, you can name it. But I told myself, I said, no, I'm going to be a career person, but my wife will be a business woman, so that we can complement each other. And I will be investing in her business in case of any eventuality from my end. She should be able to support. What is your purpose? What is your dream for your children? What is your income? What do you envisage for the next generation? Remember, the mistake that we make today will haunt us tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless you, viewers. Bye for now.